Hello, my friends. New science lesson, the same chapter, chapter 4, plants and animals. And today we will start with lesson 3, how do plants make food? First, what we are going to learn on this lesson. In today's session, inshallah, we are going to know the rules of roots, leaves, and stems in making food. Here, guys, in front of you, an activity. You can try it at home. You can take a screenshot for it, so you can know how to make it by yourself. Our first question for today: what do you think the plant need to make food? The plant to make food, or the plant even to grow, need water, need sunlight, need carbon dioxide, and nutrients from the soil. The amount of sunlight and water in the plants need can be different from one type to another. For example, cactus can grow in a dry environment where there is less water. In contrast, the rice need huge amount of water to grow. Some plants need a total great sunlight, like petunias. In contrast, irises can grow in a shady places. How plants make food? In fact, unlike humans and animals, plants can make their own food. Have you ever seen an animal going to the mall and buy its own food? Or an animal just going out to hunt another animal to get the nutrients it needs? No. Unlike humans and animals, plants can make their own food with a process called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, it's a process in which plant make sugar, the sugar that is the food for plant. How do parts of the plant, like leaves, stem, and roots, help in a process of photosynthesis? First, roots take in the water and nutrients it needed to make food. Then the roots giving the water and nutrients to the stem. And the stem takes the water and nutrients to the leaves where the photosynthesis takes place. Leaves, it is the place that absorb energy from sunlight and take in the carbon dioxide. How the process of photosynthesis occurs? The plant takes in sunlight, takes the energy it needs to make the process of photosynthesis from sunlight, takes the carbon dioxide from the air, the water and nutrients from the soil to make the process of photosynthesis that change the carbon dioxide and water that the plant absorbed into what? Into sugar and oxygen. Exactly as the equation represented to you. Sunlight, it changes carbon dioxide and water through a process of photosynthesis into what? Into sugar, especially glucose sugar, which is the food for plant, and oxygen, that's going out as a waste product. We and plants, we are helping each other. We are friends with plants. Plants take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen, but we take in oxygen and take out carbon dioxide. So we're just helping each other in that way. How and where photosynthesis takes place. We understand how the photosynthesis process occurs. Where does photosynthesis take place? It takes place in the leaves of the plant, especially in a structure called chloroplast. Chloroplast is the structures in plant cell where photosynthesis takes place, and also it contains a substance called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a substance in plants that make their parts green and capture energy from sunlight. Have you ever asked yourself why the plants green? Because they contain the substance called chlorophyll that make it green and also capture energy from sunlight. Now we're going to take a closer look using a microscope into a cross-section of a leaf. And what is that leaf made of? The upper part of the leaf made of what? It contains a tightly packed cells with many chloroplasts. And the second layer, the lower layer, contains loosely packed cells. What's called spongy tissues, with many chloroplasts also. Right here, you can see a tiny opening on the underside of a leaf. The tiny opening, it's helped what? To let the water and gases pass in and out. And that structure, that we take it in the vascular, if you remember, the vascular glands, they contain a tube-like structure that bring water from the roots. And right now, my friends, we're going to talk about parts of plants and the different shapes they have. First, we are going to talk about roots and leaves, sorry. Leaves, it's like a kitchen for a plant, like a kitchen because that's where the food is made. Leaves they have in different patterns with different shapes. The shape and positioning of leaves, it helps them to catch the sunlight they need to make food. Today we will talk only about three types of pattern. The first one, like in ash trees that have an opposite leaf pattern or a mirror-shaped pattern. Can you see it here? They're opposite. You have one to the right, one to the left, one to the right, one to the left. The second pattern and the second shape of leaves, like in grapevines, they have in what? They have in a zigzag leaf pattern. Zigzag leaf pattern, it's like this. It's a zigzag shape of leaves. The third one, like in clover. Clovers, they have a circle leaf pattern. You can see here that all the leaves are in a circular pattern. Stems. We're only going to talk about two types of stem, wooden stem and green flexible one. The woody stem are hard and rigid, which provide support to larger plants. And they are also having what? They have a waxy covering to prevent them from drying. Why they have to be hard and rigid like this? Because they are carrying leaves, branches, fruits, so they have to be strong to carry all of this. The second type, it's a soft, flexible stem. They are usually green and they are flexible. They are flexible because they are thin, they are not very strong like the other ones. So they can be flexible. If the wind comes, they just be flexible and back again. So they can bend easily without being broken. And roots. We will talk about two types of roots. Roots are responsible for taking the water and nutrients from the soil and give it to stem, and stem by its turn, and its job is to carry the water and nutrients from roots, passing to the stem, from the stem to the leaves. Roots, there are two types of roots. The first one is called taproots. Taproots, it's just one large main root. It grows straight down like in carrot and radishes. Do you know that the carrot is only a root? Yes, it's just called a taproot. And gravity, that's what causes the roots to grow down. The second type of roots is called fibrous roots. Most grasses and trees, they have fibrous roots, which is spread out in many directions, forming fibrous root system, exactly like this. Can you see how the roots are going in different ways, making a fibrous root system? But the first one, taproot, it's only one large root. Like carrot, carrot is only a root. In that question right here, he told you, why do you think there are different kinds of leaves, stem, and roots? Because there are different plants with different sizes and shapes in different environments. For example, the plants that live in desert are not the same like those who are growing in a forest or in a grassland. Plants without roots, like what? The Spanish moss, it's a plant that don't have roots. But if you ask me, Mister, if it don't have roots, how it can get the water and nutrients it needs? The type of plant can get the water and nutrients it needs from the air. It can take the water from the moisture from the air, and that's how its leaves look like. It's easier for it to catch and capture the water it needs from the moisture from the air, and also taking in nutrients from the dust. Conclusion, we have two questions. Our first one, how do water and nutrients get from the soil into a plant's leaf? Yes, the roots absorb water and nutrients, which travel up the stem to the leaves. Second question, what is the function of leaves in plants' ability to make food? Great. The leaves contain chloroplasts where food is made through photosynthesis. That is the end of today's session. Hope you all guys understand the lesson. Write your questions in the comment below and see you in the next lesson. Goodbye, everyone.